Earlier this year, the federal government announced plans to close about 30 mine safety and health administration offices around the country.
It was part of the Department of Government Efficiency's effort to cut costs and included 7 offices in Kentucky. Safety advocates spent months rallying to save those contracts.
Well, WKYT Investigates Kelsey Soto has more on why they feel like their work has paid off. Kelsey?
Well, they're calling this small successes because really the latest proposed federal budget also is cutting funding from the Mine Safety Health Administration by 10%, down to $348 million from almost $388 million.
This should never have had to happen in the first place.
Some mine safety advocates are calling it a victory in a war they never wanted to fight. In February, we learned the General Services Administration planned to close more than 30 Mine Safety and Health Administration offices across the country. That announcement came as a shock to many, surprised the government would cut from an industry they want to see expanded.
MSHA has been underfunded for a long time now. They've lost about 30% of their staff over the last decade, including 50% of their mine inspectors.
Quentin King is a government affairs specialist at Appalachian Voices. He says mine safety work is vital since all underground mines have to be inspected quarterly and surface mines twice a year. And when he heard about the closures being reversed,
a sense of relief came when we saw the first reporting about this. But then immediately we were like, there were other things we should have been focusing on the last 3 months to advance safety. Like there was one step forward, 2 steps back is how it's felt the last few months.
Since the start of the year, there have been 13 fatalities at coal mines around the country. Since MSHA was created, the number of deaths has dropped over the last 4 decades. Experts say that's partly because there's been a decline in coal production, and in part because of added mine safety regulations. DOJ cuts would have made inspectors travel further to get to sites for safety checks.
And also it means that they couldn't respond quickly to a disaster, or if, there was they have to come in today, it would take them hours. It's not like you can do mine inspections from Zoom, unfortunately.
Of the 7 mine safety offices in Kentucky originally on the chopping block, 5 are safe for now. 2 may still lose their leases, Prestonsburg and Beaver Dam.
But it was not for nothing. Obviously, it worked. And that's why we're trying to spread the news about it. It happened sort of silently. And I think it's a win for us, and it shows that the administration listens to people.
King tells me they will continue their work defending coal miner safety and black lung programs.
It takes a lot of people to really make change. And I think it's the fact that this is one of, I think, a handful of things that have been reversed by the administration shows that advocacy does work.
Now, according to federal data, 1 out of 5 operating coal mines here in the U.S. are located in Kentucky, and we have more mines than any other state except for West Virginia. And as you heard, the plan is still to close 2 field offices in Kentucky. They are shown on this map here in red. The Appalachian Citizens Law Center did examine the proposed lease terminations, and they also reviewed some publicly available data on mine inspections from 2024 through February of this year. And if we look at some of those numbers, you can see up close, Prestonsburg putting in 211 completed inspections, while Beaver Dam had about 56. And as far as the number of hours that these inspectors were out at these mines, Prestonsburg logging 9,891, Beaver Dam had 1,860. So this is something we'll still be following, and of course impacts jobs all across the Commonwealth.